Hi, welcome to the Gemara on Chaf Gimel Amud Aleph. We're starting in the middle of the first line after the two dots. B'yom tov chamisha, b'yom kippurim shisha, v'chulei. The Gemara is picking up with the statement in the Mishnah about how many aliyot to read on different days. Matnitin mani, according to whom is our Mishnah, whose opinion is reflected? Lo Rabbi Yishmael, v'lo Rabbi Akiva. Seemingly not Rabbi Yishmael nor Rabbi Akiva. Tanya, as we learned in a Braita, B'yom tov chamisha, v'yom hakippurim shisha, u'b'shabbat shiva, in pochtin mehen ve'in mosifin alehen, divrei Rabbi Yishmael. So the first part of the Braita says that on Yom Tov you read 5 aliyot, on Yom HaKippurim 6, on Shabbat 7. You can't read fewer and you can't read more, and those are the words of Rabbi Yishmael. This doesn't match our Mishnah because our Mishnah says that you're allowed to add more aliyot. Rabbi Akiva Omer, B'yom tov chamisha, u'b'yom hakippurim shiva, u'b'shabbat shisha, in pochtin mehen, aval mosifin alehen. And Rabbi Akiva says, again continuing in the Braita, Yom Tov you read 5, Yom HaKippurim 7, and Shabbat 6, and you don't read fewer, but you can add. And this doesn't match our Mishnah because Yom HaKippur 7 in our Mishnah it's 6, and Shabbat 6 in our Mishnah it's 7. So the Gemara now is going to emphasize this part of the question. Mani, so whose opinion does this match? Does our Mishnah match? I Rabbi Yishmael, Kasha Tosefet. If you wanted to say Rabbi Yishmael, the problem is the addition. In other words, the fact that Rabbi Yishmael says you can't add and our Mishnah says you can. I Rabbi Akiva, and if you wanted to say it's Rabbi Akiva, Kasha Shisha V'Shiva. The problem is the 6 and the 7. It's flipped for Shabbat and Yom HaKippurim, Rabbi Akiva versus the Mishnah. Amar Rava, Rava answers this. Tana debei Rabbi Yishmael. We have a Tana'itic teaching from the house of Rabbi Yishmael. Rabbi Yishmael it's from the house of Rabbi Yishmael. It's a Tana debei Rabbi Yishmael because we learned from the house of Rabbi Yishmael. B'yom tov chamisha, b'yom hakippurim shisha, b'shabbat shiva, in pochtin mehen aval mosifin alehen. This is basically a perfect match for our Mishnah. On Yom Tov you read 5 aliyot, Yom HaKippurim 6, Shabbat 7. You can't read fewer, but you can read more. So that matches our Mishnah. That's perfect. We found a source for our Mishnah. Sorry, it finishes up here. Divrei Rabbi Yishmael. Those are the words of Rabbi Yishmael. So that's a perfect source for our Mishnah, and it matches Rabbi Yishmael, which would lead us to say that Rabbi Yishmael is the source of our Mishnah. But now we have a problem. Kashi to Rabbi Yishmael adds Rabbi Yishmael. Now we have a kasha of Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Yishmael. We have this position of Rabbi Yishmael, which matches beautifully with our Mishnah, but we also have the previous position of Rabbi Yishmael, the one in this Braita, and that doesn't match at all. So how are we going to solve this? Trei Tanai Libet Rabbi Yishmael. No, there are just two Tanaitic traditions about what Rabbi Yishmael said. One of them matches our Mishnah and one does not. Now the Gemara has a new question. Man Tana Lahadatanya, who is the one who teaches the following Braita? B'yom tov ma'acharin lavo ma'acharin latzeit. On Yom Tov, we are slow to come and quick to leave. B'yom ha'kippurim ma'acharin lavo ma'acharin latzeit. On Yom Kippur, we are quick to come and slow to leave. U'b'Shabbat ma'acharin lavo ma'acharin latzeit. And on Shabbat, we are quick to come and quick to leave. So the Gemara wants to know who taught this Braita. Let's look at Rashi to explain this Braita a little bit. Ma'acharin lavo, Rashi says, Levei Knesset, shetzarich litroach b'seudat Yom Tov. So on Chag, we come late to shul, or shul starts late maybe, because we have to make the meal for Yom Tov. Kach b'frash b'Masechet Sofrim, this is explained in Masechet Sofrim. So shul starts later on Yom Tov because you have to be involved with making the meal. U'ma'acharin latzeit, and you leave shul quickly on Yom Tov, Mishum Simchat Yom Tov, because of the happiness of Yom Tov, which is a mitzvah. We're so excited to celebrate the Chag that we want to get out of shul quickly. B'Shabbat Maharin Lavo, on Shabbat we come early to shul. Rashi says Shikvar Tiknu HaKol Me'erev Shabbat, because we've already prepared everything before Shabbat. Can't cook on Shabbat, so everything's already ready. V'yafela Meher B'yatzad Likrot Shema Kivatikin, and it's good to come early to shul on Shabbat to read Shema with the Vatikin, with the earliest possible time to read Shema. It's a good thing to do on Shabbat, so we come to shul early on Shabbat. We've got nothing else to do, and it's a positive thing to come early. U'maharin latzeit, but we rush to leave shul on Shabbat, mishum oneg Shabbat. Again, because of the joy of Shabbat, we're so excited to go celebrate. So we have this idea, or a series of ideas, but when you come early versus leave late. But the question is, how does this match up with the number of aliyot? Because Shabbat, Maharin Lavo, Maharin Latzeit, we want to leave as early as possible, and yet we have 7 aliyot. So, Lema Rabbi Akiva. So let's say that this matches Rabbi Akiva, D'Itle Gavri Yatera, because he has an extra person. In other words, Rabbi Akiva would say, yes, it makes sense that Yom Kippur is the day when you're Ma'acharin Latzeit, when you leave latest from shul, because then you have 7 readers, but Shabbat you only have 6 readers, because Ma'acharin Latzeit, you're rushing to leave. So maybe we could say this Breita matches with Rabbi Akiva. And then the Gemara says, Afilu Tema Rabbi Ishmael, but you could even say that this matches with Rabbi Ishmael, Denafish Sidura Diyoma, because the Seder of the Yom, the order of the day, meaning the prayer service, is very long. Nafish is a lot or more. Right? There's just a lot of prayers on Yom Kippur. So even though, yes, it's true, according to Rabbi Ishmael, you only have 6 readers on Yom Kippur, but there's plenty of other davening to fill the day. You can still leave shul plenty late on Yom Kippur. Now the Gemara has a new question. Hani shosha chamisha v'shiva keneged mi. The 3, 5, and 7 aliyot, what do these correspond to? Plige by Rabbi Yitzchak bar Nachmani v'chad da'ameh. Rabbi Yitzchak bar Nachmani and another one who was with him disagree about this. Umanu, who is this other person? Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi. It's Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi. V'amrila, alternatively, Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi v'chad da'ameh. Alternatively, it's Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi and someone who was with him who are disagreeing. Umanu, and who is that? Rabbi Yitzchak bar Nachmani. V'amrila, alternatively, Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani. Maybe the other person is Shmuel bar Nachmani. Okay, but basically 2 people have a disagreement about what the 3, 5, and 7 correspond to. And of course, we've already answered the question about 3 aliyot. We already said that that's Tanakh or Kohen, Levi, Yisrael, so probably that part is not as important here, but we want to answer for all of those numbers, 3, 5, and 7. Chad Amar Keneged Birkat Kohanim. One says this corresponds to Birkat Kohanim, where, as Rashi points out, the first line of Birkat Kohanim has 3 words, the second has 5, and the third has 7. The Chad Amar, and one says, the other opinion is, Keneged Shlosha Shomrei Hasaf, Chamisha Meroi Pnei HaMelech, Shiv'a Roi Pnei HaMelech. Basically, this corresponds to different groups of king's advisors, or people within the king's court. 3 Shomrei Hasaf, 5 people who get to see the king's face, and 7 who get to see the king's face. Rashi explains, gives you a little more context here. Where is this Rashi? Hani Shlosha v'chamisha keneged mi. Oh, sorry, that's Tosfot. Rashi explains, Chamisha Meroi Pnei HaMelech, Shiv'ahem, there are 7 who get to see the king's face, K'tichsiv B'shivat Tzarei Paras U'Madai, it's from the Megillah, 7 ministers of Paras U'Madai, U'mehem yesh Chamisha Chashuvim, and then there are 5 really important ones, K'tichsiv B'sof Melachim, as it says at the end of Sefer Melachim, Shosha Shomrei Hasaf, B'sof Sefer Melachim, and then there are 3 Shomrei Hasaf. Elsewhere, Rashi says these are people who have keys to the inner court of the Beit HaMikdash. So different levels of advisors to the king. And the reason for matching up the Torah readings with these ministers of the king is to give it a sense of royalty. So we're connecting Torah reading with royalty, with being close to the king. Back to the Gemara. Tani Rav Yosef taught Shosha Chamisha v'Shiva. So the 3, 5, and 7. Shosha Shomrei Hasaf, Chamisha Meroi Pnei HaMelech, Shiv'a Roi Pnei HaMelech. So we have these, again, the 3, 5, 7. 3 Shomrei Hasaf, 5 people who get to see the king's face, 7 also who get to see the king's face. Amar le Abaye, Abaye said to him, Ad ha'idna mai tamalo parishlan mar. Up until now, what is the reason that you, my master, did not tell me this? Like, you knew this all along, why didn't you tell me this? Amar le, lo havayadana ditzrichtu. I didn't know you needed to hear it. Ditzrichtu le, that you needed to hear this. Umi be'itu minai milta v'lo amri lechu. Did you ask me something and I didn't tell you? Meaning, is this a question that you asked me and I didn't answer for you? No, like, You didn't tell me that you needed it, so I didn't teach it to you. Okay, moving on. Amar la Yaakov Mina la Rav Yehuda. Yaakov Mina said to Rav Yehuda, Hani Shishat Yom HaKippurim keneged mi. What did the 6 aliyot of Yom Kippur correspond to? Amar le, keneged Shisha she'amdu mimino shel Ezra, v'shisha mismolo. It corresponds to the 6 people who stood to the right of Ezra, and the 6 who stood to his left. So 6 on either side of him. Shnei Amar, as it says in Nehemiah, Ve'amod Ezra HaSofer al Migdal Etz asher asu l'dvar ve'amod etzlo. And now here are all the people who stood with him: Matachia, Veshama, Ve'anya, Ve'oria, Ve'chakya, Ve'masya, al yamino, Usmalo, Pedaya, Mishael, Umelchaya, Ve'chashum. These are all the people who stood on his other side. Sorry, I want to put this in yellow. Zachariah, Meshulam, and the list ends with Chashum, Chashbadana, and Zachariah, Meshulam. So those are all the people who stood on his other side. Hani Shiva Hainu. But the only problem is that list has 7 people, not 6, if you actually count the names. Zachariah Hainu Meshulam. No, because Zachariah is the same person as Meshulam. They're not 2 separate people. The Amaikra o Meshulam. Why do they call him Meshulam if his name is really Zachariah? The Mishlam Be'ovdaya. He is complete in his deeds. Rashi explains, complete in his deeds. Tamim b'ma'asav. He's completely complete in his deeds. He is good. He's pure, and that's why Zachariah is also called Meshulam. Tanu Rabbanan, our rabbis taught, Hakol in the minyan shiva. Everyone counts towards the 7. So a new brayta. Everyone counts towards the 7, meaning everyone can go up for an aliyah. Va'afilu katan, even a minor, va'afilu isha, even a woman. Aval amru chachamim, but the rabbis said, Isha lo tikra b'torah mipnei kvod hatzibur. A woman shall not read from the Torah because of the honor of the congregation. We'll discuss this a little bit more in class. That's the brayta. Ibayalahu. Here's a question. Maftir mahu she'ala l'minyan shiva. Does the maftir reading count for one of the 7 aliyot? At the end of the Torah reading, after the 7 aliyot, we always have someone who reads haftarah, and the person who reads the haftarah first reads a little bit, or first comes up for the aliyah, for a few verses, an aliyah that we call maftir. So does this count as one of the 7 or not? Rav Huna v'Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba, Chad amar oleh, v'chad amar ino oleh. One says he counts, and one says it doesn't count. Manza amar oleh, Tehakari, the one who says that it does count as one of the 7. It's because the person read, so why should it not count? Uman Zamari Nola, and the one who says that it doesn't count, Kidu'ula. This is in accordance with Ula. De'amar Ula, for Ula said, why does the person who gets the maftir in Navi, why does the person who's reading the Haftarah have to read anything in the Torah to begin with? Why is there a maftir to attach to the Haftarah? Mipnei kvod Torah, out of honor for the Torah. And Rashi explains, this is because we just don't want it to seem like the Navi is more important. Shlo yeheh kvod Torah v'kvod Navi shaveh. We don't want it to seem, like they're actually the same level of importance. V'kivante mishum kvod Torahu v'lo mishum chova lav miminyanahu. But because we're only doing it to show respect to the Torah, so it shouldn't seem like you could come up just to read for Navi, right? You also have to read from the Torah. So it's not actually an obligation to have a maftir, so it doesn't count as one of the 7 aliyot. And that's what the Gemara goes on to say. V'kivan mishum kvod Torahu, since it's only for kvod Torah, l'minyano lo salik. It doesn't count, it doesn't go up as one of the 7. Meitzveh. Now we have a brayta that contradicts the idea. This idea. Hamaftir ben avi lo yivchot me'esrim ve'echad psukin. Keneged shiva shekaru b'Torah. The person who reads the maftir, the person who gets the haftarah, there shouldn't be fewer than 21 psukim in the haftarah, in accordance with or corresponding to the 7 who read in the Torah. Meaning, if each of the 7 read at least 3, 7 times 3 is 21. So there were 21 Torah psukim read. So you can't read fewer than 21 in the haftarah. V'imita esrim v'arba havyan. But it would seem that I'm going to put the exclamation mark there, but it would seem that if it didn't count for the 7, right, if the maftir reading doesn't count among the 7, then that's 3 additional psukim that get read. It's really more like there are 8 readings, and then there should be 24 psukim, and that's how many should be in the Haftarah. The Gemara says, no, that's not a problem. Kevan mishum kvod Torahu, since that extra reading is only because of kvod Torah. Kenegdo nami lobai. You don't need additional verses corresponding to it, meaning the verses of the Haftarah only have to match the part that's really the Torah reading, and really the Torah reading is only the minimum of 21 verses. Matkifla Rava. Rava attacks the idea in the Braita. V'harei olotechem safu. This is a quote from Yirmiyahu. D'lo havyan esrim v'chad. V'karinan. What about the Haftarah? I believe it's the Haftarah for Parshat Tzav. That only has 17 verses. This is the words that started off, Olotechem Safu. It's a 17-verse Haftarah, not 21. So how can you hold this idea that every Haftarah has to be 21 verses? Shani Hatam, the Gemara says it's different there, just Sali Kinyana, because the matter is ended, meaning they don't, that's the end of the conversation about that topic, so that's why they end after 17 verses. There weren't a few more good verses to add. The Heichadelo Sali Kinyana Lo. And so does that really mean that if the topic isn't over, then no, then you can't end it within fewer than 21 verses? V'ha'amar Rav Shmuel bar Abba. But don't we have a statement from Rav Shmuel bar Abba? Zimninskian havakiim nekamed Rabbi Yochanan. Many times, Zimninskian, many times, I was standing before Rabbi Yochanan. Ki hava karinan asara psuke, and once they'd read 10 psukim, Amar lan, he would say to them, Afsiko, stop. So there's a case where they were stopping after 10 psukim. So what's going on? The Gemara answers, Makom sheyesh turgaman shani. A place where there is a translator is different. The Tani Rav Tachlifa bar Shmuel, as was taught by Rav Tachlifa bar Shmuel, lo shanu el b'makom she'ein turgaman. They only taught this in a place where there's no translator. In other words, they only taught this idea of having 21 verses in a place where there's no one doing a simultaneous translation. But when there is a translator, then you can stop. And Rashi explains, Shiesh Torach L'Tzibor. It's a tircha d'tzibora. It's a drag on the congregation. If you're stopping anyway to repeat all the verses, then having 21 verses for a Haftarah is really long. But if you don't have a Maturgaman, then you should have 21 verses. Okay, we'll stop there.